Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, people. I'm 10 minutes late. I know, but I had
Hang on,
something
I have oatmeal
converting.
cooking. Hang on, hang on.
Okay, I had Jeffrey's here too, as you can see. We had I ended up going on 10 minutes late because I had to finish converting something, and I hope this all works right. So that's where we are, and we're starting the stream right now, and we have no viewers, so it takes them a
Okay.
minute to get in.
I
Oh,
thought
they're
we had more
here.
time. I was
Sharon
cooking oatmeal.
Sipes here. She will keep all the bad people out. Sharon, I hope we have more. Don't keep fake Cole out. She's okay. Anna Banana. Hi, everyone. They're starting to come in. Yay! This is a fun um, show for me to do because Jeffrey's here, and Jeffrey and I have just been spending some time, and we're making a joint announcement on my channel, and we sort of taped a little joint announcement we're going to send on our own channels. But Jeffrey and I are going to be reading side by side for doing dual dailies. Is that what we call it, or what?
Daily duo.
Daily duo. Okay,
Is that good?
that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Um, anyway, we've been playing with this all day, and one of the things I can show you now, I think I can do this. Okay. I can now switch to my garden without having to go whoop, 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 and all that stuff. And that's part of what we're doing. He's pulling a few cards, and I'm pulling and rolling stones in the garden. And the other thing I was going to talk about, and I maybe wait a little later in, I'm doing some sort of holiday discount things, and because a lot of people said I'd love to have the garden, but and I realize everybody wants discounts. So there are going to be discounts in the gardens. They're also in December and January is the only time of the year that I do it, but I do 12-month readings, and a lot of people really like them. They really think that they get a lot out of them because we do the whole 12 months. It's a longer reading. I do several clarifiers in the months. It's interesting when you get because I use two different decks, when you get two Knights of Swords in a year. Well, I mean, pretty much means somebody's moving somewhere. So, anyway, so that's kind of my announcement about my things. And so, Jeffrey, do you want to say something lovely?
Yeah, well, so what we're going to be doing is basically a 5x5. So I pull 5 cards for the day, and Nancy throws 5 stones for the day, and they fit into the categories of body, mind, spirit, grounding, and clarity. And then we're going to do a combined message as dailies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're doing. And what I offer is I do private readings in person or on Zoom. I also have a textile. I make textiles. That's what Ripecolor is.
Mm-hmm.
I hand paint on scarves and pocket squares and handmade T-shirts, as well as astrology T-shirts. And I'm also offering and beginning a membership on my site. That'll be for the weekly readings, without commercials. And I'll be offering discounts on my site as well, but I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that, so I don't really know what to say, because I don't know until I do it.
I had to get my structure together so my admin could change things on my site so it could get my pricing list updated. So I'm a little bit ahead of some people on that. But anyway, do you want to just do a quick throw for today and show them kind of how we'll work?
Sure. Okay, so we're going to do our 5x5.
Right.
This is a preview of what we're starting on the 18th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I throw 5 and Nancy throws 5, and it's 5x5.
And our question is kind of what's the vibe that's going on around people, and kind of for the universal collective. And if it rings true with you, go with it, and if it doesn't, leave the rest. You know how that goes.
Hmm.
And sometimes you'll see it on the wrong day and you'll go, oh, but that was my day to day. That also works, you know.
Absolutely.
This is for today. Woo! I had one bounce even. Cool.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
All right. So for body, we get lots of surprises.
It's like
So
being 10
things-
minutes late.
Right. So things might seem like, oh, they're not working out, everything is a disaster, but actually it's not, because you have little yuds here, which symbolize the birth of something new, right? Because don't forget, this card after this card is the star. For mind, you have very clear thinking, you're directed by spirit, you're the leader, so you're in charge of your mind, you're in charge of your thoughts, you're in charge of your tools. Leader. Also, this is a very verbal and oral type of energy. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, sometimes if you see yourself going down like that dangerous neighborhood path, it's like, oh no, I refuse to go down there. I'm getting out of here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I see really wonderful things for myself. And you could also use the I am energy, which is really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
You stand in front of a mirror, you put your hand in front of your sacral, which is
Mm-hmm.
right below your belly button, right over here.
Mm-hmm.
You look in the mirror and you work your way up and say, I am powerful. I am
Mm-hmm.
loved. I am beautiful, etc. Mind. Spirit is what you get is what you're gonna, what you offer is what you receive back, and a healing. Grounding is, yeah, there's lots of work ahead of you, but you can handle it. And clarity is, there's a gift for you. There's a gift for you
Mm-hmm.
from spirit, a healing. That's what I got.
Okay, what I got was the body's in water, and the water on my board means things that are moving away or things you need to get grounded. It's a good thing. It's sometimes good things for good away, and sometimes it's okay. But it says hold on to the elements that are grounding you right now. They're really important, and our spirit is somewhat tied up in fire. Thoughts of the past are clouding things right now, and Jeffrey and I were talking about this earlier. I think sometimes when holidays are coming up, we start going back into the family things and how we're going to deal with it. Oh, Annette likes Daily Duo. We got a comment that she thinks that's a good name for us. For our clarity, we got heart and solar plexus. And when clarity's in especially in solar plexus, it's mean there's more than one way to express yourself. But wisdom comes from the heart part. Wisdom comes from expressing our emotions carefully. And then in the third eye, we've got our brain and the mind. And that means third eye intuition is flowing right now. And it also says we need to, our heart is opening up the expression of our throats. So there's going to be a lot of people coming to terms with what they really want to say about things right now. And then our prosperity, or grounding, comes out of air, and it goes, mental actions are setting us on a path to abundance. So it's a really positive reading, but what it's saying is express yourself and don't get tied up in the past. When the spirit shows up in the past, it usually means people have gotten tied up in dealing with something from the past in a way that's not as good as it could be. So, yes, please hit the thumbs up, and then, go over to Jeffrey's channel and hit the thumbs up over there. You guys have no idea. That means that your thing just shows up more. Like the first show I did on weight loss, it's had over 1,000 viewers and a lot of thumbs up, and it shows up in my own feed, which I think is kind of bizarre. I always think that's interesting.
You know what else I'm getting from this reading?
Right.
It's like the gift here is, say out loud, it's almost like say out loud these lovely thoughts to another, right? And receive that back.
Right.
But also that other could really be your higher self, like I was saying that thing before. I am, and receive it back. This is why you do this exercise in the mirror, and that's what the magician is all about. He is the great wordsmith, the great orator,
Right.
and that's what's going to shake things up. That's what's going to shake it up, because like the past, whatever didn't work out, it didn't work out for a reason, because it's leading you back to you being the one who's in charge. That's what it's about.
I agree. I think that, and I'm glad to see so many people have shown up to see what we're up to. And in case you've been wondering what I've been up to, I've been up to setting up the second camera so I can read the garden more effectively, so that we could do this on a regular basis without having to tear everything apart and put it back up. And Jeffrey was kind enough to agree to try this as an experiment. Do you guys like it? Thumbs up, claps, applause if you think it's a good format. And trust me, they won't be any longer than what you just saw. That's the other thing, is we're not going to drag you.
We both get right to the point, that's for sure.
Yeah, neither of us are going to drag you to the edge of the universe and talk about Pluto. Not today. Not today. The other thing I do, Jeffrey, is I have people ask me questions when I post it. I'm going to do a live show in case they have something pressing. And before we get any further with this, I want to thank everyone who supports my channel, who saw my thing, and also the people who saw an intuitive view. My daughter's dog is very sick, and we're not sure why, but it's something that's manifested neurologically. And Saturday morning, Casey ran out of here with the dog in her arms thinking it was going to die. She thought she was taking it to be euthanized because she couldn't walk with her back legs. They think it's an infection, and they're treating her, and she's starting to get livelier. And as yappy as that dog went, as many times I wanted to go in the room and strangle it, I don't want it to go out like this. And it's very hard on my daughter. This has been her companion for 11 years and 12 years, I guess. And so when I opened up my phone and I showed all the people who commented and were sending love and light, she was so excited, and she said, thank you, thank you. And the dog was better this morning. She could actually walk around her little dog.
Yeah, when you said infection, I got a hit that's right.
I think it's an infection. I think it's an infection too.
Yeah.
Somebody's telling me to tell you, Jeffrey, I love your energy. I'm a very high strung with minor anxiety, and seeing and hearing you every day is a massive calming effect on me. So,
thank you.
Isn't that lovely? That's from
Thank
Alicia.
Thank you, Alicia.
And the other questions we got today, I'm going to do another reading on the garden because there's a regular follower who I've been asked about her husband's job situation. I'll roll that in a minute. Maybe if you want to help Jeffrey, you can put up your cards.
What's the situation? Tell me the question.
He's looking to change. We kept seeing something would be coming up in the fall, and she said there's been no real progress on that. So it's her name is Tammy, and it's her husband's job situation.
Oh, job. Okay. Is he looking to change careers?
I think he's been seriously underemployed, and he's looking in a field he was in before. I don't know what all the ins and outs are. That's what I saw, and that he's expanding his wings. Okay. Hi, Helene Robinson. Hello, Skywalking with moons in the house.
That's a great name. I can't see the chat because it gets very confusing.
Yeah, he can't see the chat, so I can barely see the chat. It's in teeny tiny type beside my.
Should we do the 5 again?
Yes, we're doing 5.
Okay, why don't you start?
Okay, all right. What we see here is, yes, he's definitely moving into better waters than he's been in. I still see fall, winter is when he's going to get settled in the new deal. We've got... he's got some insights. He's got some ideas. Things are coming towards him, but his spirit's locked between air and earth, and his life is transforming. And final thoughts on the situation are coming. You got both of those, and you got this one, which is his intuition's telling what's going on. His body's his physical form, his body is moving into water. He needs to stay more grounded when he's thinking about that. He tends to drift back into second guessing himself too much, Tammy. But the biggest problem is this one. His clarity is in fire, and thoughts of the past are clouding his point of view, but his prosperity is right between leaving the past and going into the future. And his clarification comes from dealing with something from the past he thinks is holding him back. But you've got 3 stones on here that say his intuition is strong, but he needs to ground more fully in seeing himself in the new situation. I don't know if that helps you, Tammy, but
yeah.
That's done. What do you see?
Okay, look at this.
Okay.
Intuition.
Okay.
Intuition.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Like seeing yourself in this new place, making money, being successful, and then eventually whistling while you work.
Mm-hmm.
Because this one also, for me, this is whistle while you work. This guy is so involved in the pentacle he's making, he can't be anywhere but in the here and now. Because if he's not in the here and now making that pentacle, it doesn't really matter. He doesn't know how many he made. He's so in love with what he does that he's just like, people like lunchtime, it's like, no, I'm in the middle of something. This is something that, I think you have to see it in your mind's eye. He has to see it in his mind's eye. Because, this is the empath of the whole deck.
Tammy is very empathic.
Yeah, but this is you're right?
Mm-hmm.
Creation. This is the card of creation, basically. It's Isis.
Mm-hmm.
This new enthusiasm about how to make money, a new idea, more messages, intuition, what feels right. How does it feel? It's like taking that law of attraction to a new level, which is not only am I seeing it in my mind's eye, but I feel myself in that job. I feel myself in that job, working away on my pentacles or whatever it is, whistling while I work, and trusting that, because they're very trusty. The pages are all like, oh yeah, it'll work, and that's the energy. And, this could also be a winter card sometimes because there's snow on the ground.
Yeah, when I rolled it, it was late fall, winter. So, and we're not winter yet. Winter isn't until December 21st, kids.
Right, but it's his own light leading him through the darkness. It's his own light, his own hope, his own soul's mission leading him through the darkness. And eventually, I see it working out of whistling while you work, attention to detail, right? Being in the here and now. That's the only place we can create from is like right this moment instead of, if you're dragging all that stuff into your meditation, it's like put it in a Tupperware, put it on a shelf, it'll be there. You made the tuna today, you can eat it tomorrow, it's okay. Let the tuna sit in the refrigerator, now you have to do what you have to do.
Right. And a lot of times when we get so involved in what's going to happen, it blocks us from opening up the possibilities for new channels to come in.
Right.
So I got another question, and I'm going to have to look at this. This is a lovely lady named Laura, and she's officially launched her YouTube channel, and it's going okay. Wishing you and all your viewers brightest blessing. She didn't put what her channel is, but her name is Laura. She just wants to know her outlook for the next 3 months. So I'm going to pull, since she's into a new prosperity spiritual mode, I'm going to throw just 2. Just the prosperity, and I'll throw 3. I'll throw the mind, prosperity, and spirit. Mind, grounding, and spirit. Well, your mind ended up right in the middle, girl. So let me show you what you got. I'm not used to my new system yet, kids. It'll take a while. Okay. Do you want to go, Jeffrey, or do you want me?
Yeah, no, look, I got the angel of healing and balance coming through.
That's what she does. That's
right?
what her work is, yeah.
And I got defend yourself. Defend your territory. It doesn't really matter what other people are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know that this is the right thing for you. You have the high ground. You'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence. This is confidence in one's passion, confidence in one's determination, and one's creativity. Confidence. You have the high hill, whatever.
Right, right.
And then execution of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Execution of the plan. And furthermore, this one, this is Cancer, right? Look at the little moons on his shoulders, right? His third eye is ignited.
Mm-hmm.
His third eye is ignited. He knows how to execute a plan. He's enthusiastic. He's ready to move forward. He's got a plan. He knows how to execute it. This is the energy of like somebody who just graduated from college. He's like, yeah, I know it can happen, and I'm going to make it happen.
Right.
That's the energy.
Yeah, we call them young and
good.
stupid, and they didn't know that they couldn't make it, so they made it work.
Right.
It says that that you're looking for new patterns, and your values that you've learned in the past, you're bringing them forward, and they're going to be positive. Your spirit is an air, and your spirit's transforming your thinking right now. It's a perfect time for you to be in that place. But the most important one is the mind stone, and the mind is between. This is when you read that down. It goes, thoughts are all important. Do not become lost in false energies from the past. Final thoughts of the situations are coming, and to let go of limitations. So all of those say, yeah, you're working with stuff from the past, but don't limit yourself. That where you can go is limitless. And I think that's true, because I've read her, and she's really, really good.
Well, what I'm getting is that what it would be beneficial. I'm so demanding. I'm so like.
Do it this way.
What I'm getting is what you need to tell yourself is, I have what it takes, and I'm going to see it through to the end. I have what it takes, and I'm going to see it through to the end. You're going to have these moments. It's like, I have what it takes. I'm going to see it through to the end.
It's a great message. A great message. So does anybody else have a question? You need to type it in caps. Elaine, yes, if you need to type it in caps. Okay, I'm going to do a one and done because someone wants a life purpose reading. And I'm going to use where their mind is. So I don't know how you do life.
I could do one and done actually with my goddess.
Okay. Okay.
Our goddess.
Our goddess. Okay. I'm going to do one and done. Okay. Your life purpose is I can tell you because I know this one really well. Your life purpose is between letting go of limitations in the past and earthing out the new, bright, vibrant ideas that you have. And I don't know if you're creative. Who's this person creative? You're a person who people trust. They trust you and security is really important to you. So your life purpose is to take that element in yourself where you're so grounded in understanding security and help other people understand how to create their own personal security. I don't know what kind of job that is. I'll just say that flat out.
I got Artemis.
What? Okay.
I got Artemis.
Okay.
Who's Diana, who's also known as Diana, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the sacred animals there would be deers, bears, and dogs. I'm just saying this from what I know.
Mm-hmm.
He's also, her twin is Apollo. So, she was born first, and she decides to keep the darkness for herself, right, and give him the light. The energy, I could read from the book, but I'm just telling you what I know about Artemis. She's the archer.
Right.
She has that energy of, that's my goal. I think this is important. This is part of the message.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the message is, trust your vision and trust your goal and trust that you're aiming in the right direction. Instead of, not trusting, it's like she's an expert archer. So she has her goal in mind. She has her target in mind. If whatever you aim toward, you're going to be able to accomplish. That's part of it.
Right.
So it's about confidence. And now what the book says,
Why not
after
read?
all
You got the
that,
book. You may as well use it.
you and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. And let's see, I think it goes alphabetically. It would be nice if it did. It does. Okay, I don't know if the number 29 has any something for you. Okay. Like me, you have a sacred mission to spread love and light. Yet this isn't a position that comes from tension or worry. Instead, the gentle essence of a joyful heart and light-hearted laughter sets your power into motion. Very interesting. Why would there be any tension in your mind or system unless you believe that you were somehow unsafe? And how could you be unsafe when you've called upon the spiritual warriors to watch over you?
Mm-hmm.
Your prayers have activated the flawless protection of heaven. So ease your mind of all cares and concerns and concentrate instead on your holy mission. This is, what this is about? This is about creating from a state of joy.
Mm-hmm.
It's about creating from a state of joy.
Good. We have another question that actually got typed in big bold things so I can actually read it.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to handle this one, Jeffrey, but it's about, are humans going to find a way to store water to help to handle our own needs? And what I saw is that someone's working on it right now and is bringing it forward. It's being brought forth very creatively, but people are going to have to rethink how they do so many things, but power is going to come through connecting disparate forces to make this happen. A lot of people want to rely on the fact and say, no, it can't be done, but they really don't believe it. The humanity as a group doesn't believe it. And clarity's coming in, and what I feel when I see this stone right here next to this is like old farts saying, oh, well, we're not sure we can do that, honey. But this is young people coming in, clarifying, yeah, we can, and new, incredibly interesting ideas emerging. And at the bottom of it all, at the top of it all, is that spirit is transforming our thinking, and it's pushing humanity into that direction. So my answer would be yes. Don't ask me how they're going to do it.
I got a yes when you asked the question.
Mm-hmm.
First off, and then I get the answer is right here in front of us, but we're not seeing it.
That's right.
Right, and then I get expansion, and it's a worldwide thing.
Mm-hmm.
I get expansion. The old way, used to work, but now there's a new way that's going to work, right? Which is closer to heaven in
Right.
a way, right? And it's a bigger picture. He's got the world in his hand. And these are the naysayers. Oh. So this is the change, one of the change cards, and it's like, what are you concentrating on? Are you concentrating on what's not going to work, or are you going to turn around and say, oh, well, this does work? And I get the star, which is like the most benefic in the entire deck, and this is the grounding, and this is a new direction, a new inspiration, and hope, and ideas, and like a blessing from heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get, a lot of cooks in the kitchen, a lot of like, oh, the opinion. Okay, but maybe what we need is for all these opinions to come together, because it's like we're going to use that from you and that from you and that from you, and the whole thing can, merge into one. But I think the answers are already here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I get.
Yeah, I think the answer, that's what I got, the overwhelming feeling from the vibes that were coming out of these 5 stones that were going to make it. Now we have something that's more practical. Since I don't know about conserving water, if the absolute proper answer showed up in my head, I probably couldn't define it because I don't have that vocabulary. But we do have a young woman who's asking, her name is Linda P. Holder of Space. And she's ready to launch. And you need to get a hold of me, dear, when you have this together enough so we can show it on my channel because I love different divination forms. She's doing divination with cowrie shells. So let's see. I'm going to roll a prosperity for you and see.
I think I know who Linda P is.
You do know who Linda P is. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a small world out here, Jeffrey. I want you to know. Okay, I'm going to change it over so Linda P can watch me do her thing.
Okay, so what's the question, Linda?
The question is, ready to launch readings, any advice? So I'm asking for Spirit to give her advice. I'll give her some advice too. Make a damn PDF so people know what you're talking about. Anyway. Oh, yeah, you've done this in a past life, and it's just all instinctual to you. Follow your own instincts. Don't let anyone else tell you what to be. And yes, Linda P says you are the Linda P she knows.
Perseverance.
Mm-hmm. Just stick with it.
Perseverance. What you give is what you receive. What you receive is what you give. Perseverance and balance and community.
Mm-hmm.
And community. So this is a great card.
Yeah.
This is a great card. This is really about being part of a community that's healthy.
Yes.
It's like an ecosystem that works, right? The frog does his job, the snake does their job, the dragonfly does their job, the trees do their job, the water does its job, the rocks do their job, everybody does their job. And everybody, receives and gives. It's an ecosystem. This is like an ecosystem card. And it's tremendously balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because to understand, because you can be any one of these three characters, but I think we're all three characters. Sometimes you have extra and you're giving, but through giving, he's receiving, but also through asking, he is receiving the gift of giving.
Yeah.
It's like that.
So I hope that helps you, Linda. I'm serious. My emails and stuff are below. Get a hold of me, and we'll see about.
And also, it's interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
So the six, I always think of the six-pointed star, right?
Right.
So the six-pointed star, which is known as the Magen David and all this. And this is a terrible drawing, but so this is the element of fire and the element of water.
Mm-hmm.
So the element of fire reaches up toward God, and the element of water comes down into us. So it's really about being in the middle. It's almost like being a tree.
Mm-hmm.
You're being the center, grounding into the earth, sending the earth love, receiving up from the earth, sending up to heaven, receiving back. And you're the conduit between the two. That's the understanding of this. That's the understanding of this energy.
Yes. The six-pointed star is the sign for the heart chakra.
Right.
And, it's in the middle. You've got three below and three above. And if the heart ain't working, ain't nobody going anywhere. Benny, I'm really sorry, but we have a person who's lost several family members in the last 2 weeks. And she's had a lot of family loss, I know, in the last couple of years. I'm really sorry about that, and we'll send love and light. Oh, this was going to be what I was going to talk about until Jeffrey and I decided to have him come on, but that's Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart. And what I was going to talk about was shielding yourself, because you remember when Colbert and Stewart had this was when they did the big rally in Washington, D.C. on the mall. There was 100,000 people came, and I went to it, and it's the last large mass anything I'll ever go to in my life, I think, because I got to leave in an ambulance. The energy was so overwhelming that they thought I had a heart attack, but I didn't. I had shielded myself the best I could, but I'd been in that place since 6:30 in the morning. And what I was going to talk about today, before Jeffrey and I got this together, and I'll talk about it a little bit right now, taking on the energy of others and how to shield yourself. Now, normally I wake up every day and have for years and put a giant egg of protection around myself so that I don't, because I can take on so much energy, I will really harm myself. At the end of the time that they were doing their show, it was a brilliant show. My daughter went with me with another friend, and we got in really early, so we got a park bench, so I didn't have to stand. It's before my knees were repaired, so I really couldn't have stood. And we were on this park bench, and I had all these this great bunch of college guys that were behind us. They'd pick me up and show me the crowd so I could see how many people had shown up, because I had no hope of seeing that any other way. They're absolutely marvelous. And then one of the men standing next to me, he said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Feeling a little dizzy." And they ran off and they got the medics, and the medics checked my vitals, and they said, "You're out of here." And the concert was breaking up. So I got stuffed in an ambulance and got to spend that night at a hospital at, forget which hospital it was, but when they brought me in the emergency room, I was talking to the emergency room physician, and as usual, I got a physician who understands how we work, Jeffrey. And I told her, I don't think I've had a heart attack. I think I had too much energy around me. Mm-hmm. And so she put me in the furthest down the hall, out of all the hubbub of the hospital stuff. And then they said, "We have to keep you hospitalized because your vitals aren't making any sense to us." And I looked at them, and I know how to read med charts. I worked in hospital. And I said, "No, that's my medical records. That's what they would look like now." And they was like, this was in 2010. And they said, "Well, it's Sunday. We can't get a hold of your doctors." Well, at UT Southwestern, where I do my medicine, they have a chart that's online, and at that time that was pretty revolutionary. So I managed to get it on my daughter's iPhone. I couldn't get it on my Android, but we got it on my daughter's iPhone. And the head of the cardiology department was about to tell me I wasn't leaving because I needed to get out of there to get home in time. And he looked at my charts and he went, "Oh my God, you're right, you're normal. This is how you read." And I said, "Yeah," and I didn't bother to explain to him it's because of some of the things that go on around me. But so he let me go, and I drove home, and I was safe. But anyway, that's what I was saying is there's a number of ways to avoid being affected by other people's energy. Shielding is one preventive technique. The other is centering totally inside yourself and envisioning the cocoon of loving and protective life. I was so tired I couldn't do any of that anymore. So I thought with the holidays coming, it might be worth talking about shielding yourself from the energy of others.
So actually, it's this color. So yeah. You want to call on Archangel Michael, because Michael is the great protector, and he's really this brilliant sort of unearthly blue.
Because he's an angel, right?
Yeah, and it has this energy of eternity to it.
Yeah.
So you call on Michael. So sometimes there are certain days where I leave the house, especially during the middle of everything, when I would have to go grocery shopping, I call on Michael to protect me.
Yeah.
And once you do that, and you put yourself in this giant sphere, your mind's eye, or in your heart, or hear it, whatever, and know you're fine.
I have a crystal I've been working with because I've been doing some dowsing and checking my vibrations various times a day. This crystal will raise my vibrations 20 points. It's a Labradite. Somebody asked, are there crystals that'll work for protection? Yeah. Jeffrey and I were talking about that earlier too.
Yeah, and I think that those two guys that showed up was Michael.
And you can call in the angels. You can call in your own guardians. One of the things I will tell you is that if you let yourself get tired, I don't care how skilled you are at this, tiredness is something that affects you and can make your shields come down. Kind of like Starfleet when they don't have enough stuff in the engine.
Not having enough to eat, and then thinking you should be able to think clearly.
And I was totally unprepared because you got to realize, guys, I live in a big city, but I live a relatively isolated life. And I used to go out and be with people all the time when I did politics. And one of the reasons why I wanted to get out of it was it did drain me, and I just don't have enough energy to fight off 100,000 people. Although they were there being delighted by these two. So be warning. I mean, it could be something you want to go do, and it's not a good thing to go do. Well, I sort of kidnapped Jeffrey. He was kind of sitting around having a quiet day, and he and I got in the conversation about
I have oatmeal on the stove.
he has oatmeal on
You
his
want my
stuff.
oatmeal?
I know. I think that's kind of all of the questions. Somebody asked me if I'm going to discount the grids. I really can't discount the grids, not even for a short period of time, because I know people think 250 steep, but it's really what it takes if you knew how much time and energy went into those. So, yes, and Labradite does harmonize all the chakras. That's a good thing. So, unless someone has a really pressing question, we've been on here 40 minutes, and I hadn't even expected to be that long, but then I did think I'd have a charming co-host.
Thank you. And please check out our daily videos, which will start on November 18th.
Right, and we're going to put them in the time slot. Jeffrey's had his. He puts them up the night before at 10 o'clock.
10 p.m. New York time, so
And
that's
9
9
p.m.
Central and
8 Mountain, 7 Pacific.
thank you.
So you can find them in the morning when you get up and have your coffee, unless you're a night owl.
Yeah, some people, people in Europe always do it before.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they're in Europe. And you know, the readings like Jeffrey and I were talking about earlier, sometimes you'll come across a reading and realize, oh, that's not the day that they put it up for, but it will totally ring true.
Yeah, because the universe is very efficient.
Mm-hmm. It gets you what you want, whether you know it or not.
Exactly.
So thank you so much for sharing and all the
Yes.
people who showed up. Thank you for Andrea, who's here, Libra Lady, Callie Suds, Jean. Some other people are having to go too. So apparently we've eaten into enough of their lunch hour. And I will talk at you guys. I will be back on Thursday at 1.